Namaste and welcome again to Planet to Soul Astrology, and Kṣaṇāti, welcome again to my channel. And last time it was a wonderful session. We have already started with the series of Nakshatra Devatas. We discussed about Ashwini Nakshatra, and friends, today we are going to talk about Bharani Nakshatra and its deity. But before that, again, I would like to ask all to just enroll their names for the Nakshatra Summit, which is going to happen on 19th of April this month. So, Kṣaṇāti, I hope you are feeling good, and what you have to say about Bharani Nakshatra?
Bharani Nakshatra, it's so amazing. Namaste, Sunilee ji. It's a pleasure to be back here on Planet to Soul Astrology. Our Ashwini session was very deep, and as we get through this Nakshatra Devata series, I am just so excited for all of this work which we are going to do. Now, when we look at the deity for Bharani Nakshatra, it's very interesting because the first thing that we see is the Graha rulership of Shukra. So Shukra has rulership over Bharani Nakshatra from a planetary perspective. Now, the presiding deity over Bharani Nakshatra is the great Maha Lord Yama. And so it's very interesting. You get a combination of Venus and Yama. So what does that mean? How does that influence the Bharani Nakshatra native? This is one of the most amazing nakshatras for the evolution of our nature to become more evolved. Now, for those of you who don't know the mythology of Lord Yama, Lord Yama was the son of the sun and Chaya, but his other mother could not bear. His biological mother could not bear Yama's biological mother, the son's wife. What was the son's wife? Her Sanskrit.
Her name was Sangya.
Sanya, and so she could not bear the light of the sun, and so she leaves, and that means Chaya was left with Yama and Yamuna, and Chaya always preferred the children that she had with Surya. She was very preferential in the treatment of her own children, which means when it came to Yama and Yamuna, who come from a different mother, that she didn't treat them with the same level of generosity. She didn't treat them with the same level of kindness because she was biased and preferred to her own children. Now, if there's one thing that anyone knows about Lord Yama, he is much concerned about fairness, and he is much concerned about strictness. And so there was one moment that he was no lord yet. He was just a child. And Yama was so angry that he lifted his foot to think to kick his mother Chaya because of all of the unfair treatment. Well, Chaya is a very powerful devata. And so what Chaya does is she immediately turns around and catches him with his intention to kick her. And by the way, Yama did not kick Chaya. He just thought about it. Okay? It was just the thought in his mind. But it was said in the ancient scriptures that Yama raised his foot. So again, we're not talking about a full-blown kick, and we're not talking about a thought, but somewhere in between, because Lord Yama raised his foot to kick his stepmother Chaya. And when this happened, Chaya cursed Lord Yama. Chaya put a great curse on Lord Yama, that he would be consumed by death, and that his feet would turn into worms, and that all of those worms would fall onto the earth, and they would affect all of the humanity.
Yeah.
Now, this was a very powerful transformation from Yama, because he immediately went from becoming a child to having some kind of divine manifestation. Now, he hadn't become fully divine yet, because this was something that the son will give him later when he finds out what is going on. But this feet consumed by worms is a representation of death. And when those worms fall to earth, it is a metaphor or a symbol for death falling to earth. This means that before the time of Lord Yama, there was still immortality. After the time of Lord Yama, there was no more immortality, because all of the humans were affected by the death. But from a spiritual perspective, this curse caused enlightenment of Lord Yama, because when you become consumed by death, you are given the greatest wisdom. You are given the greatest knowledge. This would give him knowledge of death, knowledge of reincarnation, knowledge of karma. So on a deep level, even though his stepmother cursed him, she also, in some manifestation, blessed him, because he became enlightened from this curse. He became awakened to know about death, life, reincarnation, and karma. And from this point on, this wisdom, the son found out that that this curse had happened to Lord Yama. And quickly he said, as a result of this curse, Lord Yama, I am going to make you the Lord of Death, the Lord of the deathly realm, the Lord of reincarnation. And I want you to be the one that assimilates, judges, and integrates everyone's karma at the time of their death. So this was the greatest type of title. And from a spiritual, mystical perspective, when it comes time to die, it is Lord Yama who greets us. But Lord Yama has the Yamalokas, which are kind of like his servants. That's where Yama lives, in Yamaloka. So we all must pass through there before we are in the reincarnation. But Yama is a very busy deity. So he also has the Yamadutas. And the Yamadutas are his angels. And they're actually said to be miniature. They're not meant to be full height. And the Yamadutas come when it is time for us to go, and they take us to Yamaloka to see Lord Yama. But it also says in the ancient scripture, if you are completely divine, if you live completely righteous life, if you live completely honorable life, then Lord Yama comes himself on the water buffalo, and he escorts you to Yamaloka personally on his water buffalo. So this is a very beautiful history. This is a very beautiful symbology. But how does it affect Bharani Nakshatra? For those of us who are influenced by Bharani Nakshatra, Lord Yama is watching you. Now, Lord Yama is watching you. That doesn't mean for you to be scared, because we all have to face Lord Yama when our soul leaves our physical body. So it's something we are preparing our whole life to see Lord Yama. We are preparing our whole life to visit Lord Yama. But people who have strong Bharani connection, they always have this deep perception, and the sun is exalted in this nakshatra. Aries is in good position in this nakshatra. So these people are very concerned about the outcome of their actions, because they're always being judged. Now, consider the fact that Lord Yama is a fair judge. That's why Surya and Shiva give him this great position. But it was also said, one thing I wanted to mention, that after Lord Yama was cursed by Chaya, that he did a great penance towards Lord Shiva. This is another way of explaining the story, is how he became his enlightenment is through great penance to Lord Shiva. Now, that means with Venus is the ruling planet of Bharani Nakshatra. So that means there's this sensory refinement or evolution which is going on. That means that on one side of it, people with strong Bharani Nakshatra, they can have lots of temptation. They can have lots of desire. And Kama is one of the third aims of life, which means desire. So let us not say that all desire is wrong. But some desire, which we would later be judged for as having negative karma, if we give in to that desire, then Lord Yama is going to integrate that into our karma. So people with strong, let's say, Venus in Bharani Nakshatra, Mars in Bharani Nakshatra, because then there's a Venus-Mars exchange going on. And what this happens is these people are also very pleasure-seeking. They might seek the pleasure. They might want to have drug alcohol, have lots of dancing, have lots of music, have lots of other celebrations which they would want to have. But eventually, they're going to realize that Lord Yama is watching them. Now, Lord Yama manifests through many different religions. In other words, from a Vedic perspective, by the way, Buddhism and Hinduism both believe in Lord Yama. So this is something very interesting where two religions overlap to believe in Lord Yama. But there's also this understanding, even in Christianity, even in Islam, even in Judaism, that we are judged for our actions. And this is very strong with the Bharani Nakshatra native. So people who have Sun in Bharani, that's a very good position. Rahu and Ketu Bharani Nakshatra is a very interesting position. I think it can be Rahu and Mars can have a positive relationship, but not materially beneficial. And Rahu and Venus can have a beneficial relationship. But people with Rahu and Bharani Nakshatra, they can be rock star, they can be musician, they can have lots of creative potential. But what comes along with that? Temptation to party. See, because the thing about celebrities is in our society, they're supposed to be role models. They're supposed to be role models because all the children are watching them. So that you should be able to look up to them. But instead, they party all the time, they divorce all the time, they do alcohol and other drugs all the time. Very hard to look up to these people. But in any case, we always talk about the higher side of the evolution and the less higher side of the evolution. The higher side of Bharani Nakshatra natives, they are like Lord Yama. They are serious, but they are fair. And they are able to enjoy things in life, but not anything which they should feel guilty for. And they are constantly concerned about the impression or mark which they're going to leave on the world, because Lord Yama is watching, which means I don't want to create any negative type of karma.
Right.
But those people with very difficult Bharani Nakshatra position, because of the rulership of Lord Yama, they do not look at themselves. They engage in their hedonistic or their pleasure-seeking tendencies. They do what they want to do. Now, eventually, maybe when they go to rehab, that is when they start to think about, okay, maybe I have to look at myself and my actions. But in general, we have the higher side of this vibration, which is very evolved in terms of our pleasures, and the lower side of this vibration, always giving into our pleasures without thinking about them. In other words, on one side, we have close relationship with Lord Yama, the Devata of Bharani Nakshatra. And on other side, we ignore Lord Yama. And guess what? He's going to be there when it comes time for us to pass. So the earlier that you can develop a good relationship with this Mahadevata, the better. So I hope that was interesting, Sunilee.
Yeah, that was very interesting because Yama Devata in Hindu mythology or in Hindu system also, or in any system, even though Christianity, if you follow, Buddhism follow, or anywhere, it is said that when person is on the deathbed, that time person comes to know in advance before some time that now my last time has come. You know, that realization happens within the person. And sometimes if people are spiritually very much inclined, they happen to see the strong rays, strong light in front of them, that somebody, some light is taking them away. Or sometimes they see this light in a form of Yama Devata. Yama Devata is traveling always on the black buffalo, and the Yama Devata is already black in color, and Yama Devata is having all the weapons which are very cruel weapons, or you can say very sharp weapons he is holding in his hand. Even if you see his what you try on the that mukut, whatever he is wearing on his head, that also have shape of a, shape of a buffalo's this penetrated to what you call it as, I don't know the English word for that. We call it as a sing, the this portion of the buffalo. So that is the cap of Yama Devata. So even his picture, whatever is created in our eyes, is very dangerous picture. That is. So Bharani Nakshatra is a Krura Nakshatra, or you can say it is a cruel Nakshatra, Bharani Nakshatra. Why it is a cruel Nakshatra? Because the deity of Bharani is Yama Devata. Now, it doesn't mean that always Bharani people are carrying death with them. It is nothing of that sort. Bharani rules over the Venus, and Venus is lust, Venus is wealth, Venus is extra happiness, Venus is material life. So, in other words, apart from death, if we talk about the Bharani Nakshatra, it gives us the message that whenever you are on this earth, when you are enjoying the wealth, when you are enjoying the lust, when you are enjoying the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and if you are forgetting the dharma and moksha, and you are just between artha and kama, that time this Yama Devata becomes more aggressive to give you the punishments. Why it is becoming more aggressive? Because ultimately Yama Devata is the brother of Saturn. Shani is the brother of Yama Devata. And we always say that Saturn is the reader of our karma account. So Saturn rules over the longevity, and Yama Devata rules over the ending of the longevity. See, that is why if you keep good karmas, your karmic longevity will be more. And if you do not do it, then Yama Devata is just a pratikatmak, or we can say it is just for our understanding that if you not maintain your karmic account properly, Yama Devata is going to punish you. That is why Bharani people always tend to be humble. You know, Bharani people are very aggressive by nature. The people having key planets in Bharani Nakshatra, okay, and in what house that planet is posited, so that house signification become very strong. if this Venus of Bharani Nakshatra or Mars of Bharani Nakshatra becomes the key planet, or even Saturn of Bharani Nakshatra becomes a key planet in the chart, so these people are ruthless people many times. They are very sharp-minded people. They have penetrating thoughts and penetrating talks which hurt others. But at the same time, these Bharani people have a tendency to accumulate the things together. Bharani, in other words, we can say to add on, to make a accumulation of something. This accumulation can be of wealth also, and this accumulation can be of good karmas also, because the deity is Yama Devata, who is always watching on you. That is why these Bharani people, if you will see, so they are very attractive personality, but at the same time they are very strong also. And these Bharani people you will see mostly are in police, in army, and if moon is also associated with Bharani Nakshatra, so they are a very strong singers also. You know, some people are very soft singers. They have very soft voice also. But people having Bharani Nakshatra in the second house, third house planets, they have a very strong voice. They have a hoarseness of voice in them.
Yeah, like Elton John.
Yeah, so they have a thick voice quality, and they will never, this Bharani Nakshatra, because of this, the deity, these people will never tolerate injustice. Or these people, if somebody is doing anything wrong, immediately they will jump there and they will just try to resolve the things. Again, one more thing here I would like to add, that these people have a specific healing power within them. The people who are on deathbed, or the people who are very deteriorately ill or bedridden people, if Bharani people will go and give them healings, even though they are not in healing work or something, but even though these people will sit beside those patients and just hold their hands, and if they will chant the mantra, Om Yamai Namaha, Om Yamai Namaha, definitely the person who is on a deathbed, I won't say that disease will go away, but at least that person will be at peace. That person will feel much better. So this is the way the Yama Devata is ruling the Bharani Nakshatra. And again, as you talked about the Chaya Mata, Chaya means shadow. Okay, so this shadow is the another word for Rahu Ketu. Chaya means shadow. And when Venus comes with shadow, Venus comes with Rahu, the material desires goes on increasing. That is why Yama Devata is there to control these desires. So we all have to control our desires by controlling our karma, ultimately controlling our deeds, controlling our man, chitta, and controlling our, all the Shadharipus, I always call it. Shadharipus, all the six indriyas in our body, all six elements main, we have to control it. If we control it, then Yama Devata will give us the blessings. And in our house also, in our premises also, the southwest corner of the house is ruled by the Yama Devata. Because the disha, the direction of Yama Devata is at the southwest. So always people, if have afflicted planets in Bharani Nakshatra, so every Saturday or every black moon day, that is Amavasya, no moon day, they have to light a real but a real ghee deepak at the southwest corner of the house or premises. And they have to chant the nakshatra mantra that will really prove them very good to tackle over the health issues, to tackle over the wealth issues. So this was what my thoughts about specifically deity of Bharani Nakshatra. There is so many things to talk about the Bharani Nakshatra, but as we are focusing on deities, so I think this much information is what you say about Bharani Nakshatra, because we are focusing more on this deities.
I love everything you've said, and I think something that needs to be, I guess, just to emphasize everything you said, is that Lord Yama is really a master Devata. As you get through, we're going to talk 28 Devatas because we're going to do Abhijit too, but we're gonna talk 28 Devatas. But every single human that is alive here on earth right now, guess who they see when they die? The great Sri Lord Yama. So there is this concept for us as human beings that, and this is not a spiritual concept, because if you're spiritual, you study death, you study reincarnation, you study karma, and this is Yama's nature. But some people like to ignore death. And the thing, and so they ignore this concept of Yama in their life. The fact that there is some greater power which is watching over them, which is going to integrate all of their karma. Here's one thing that I also like to say about Lord Yama. When our soul goes to Yamaloka before it is evolved to the stage of reincarnation, it's not like Lord Yama says, you are bad, you are wrong, you did this which was bad, you did this which was wrong. No, because Lord Yama is completely fair. He takes all of your good deeds, all of your bad deeds, he integrates them into your soul's karma and then accepts you exactly as you are. So this is just something that I feel very strongly about, is that it's easy for us to be afraid of death because we're afraid of the judgment for all of the things that we ever did that were ever wrong. But all human beings are imperfect, except maybe Lord Krishna and Jesus Christ and all of that. So beyond that energy, that means that it is really kind of a because to have a close relationship with Lord Yama is not to feel guilty for all of the things that you've done, because that will be integrated into your karmic picture. That's something that it happened and you can't change it. But also all of your good deeds, especially if you have strong Bharani Nakshatra, you don't give into your desired temptations. You don't give into your desired tendencies. Then all of those good deeds will also be integrated. So again, for those people who have strong influence by Bharani and Yama Nakshatra, let's not focus on the bad deeds and try to feel guilty about the bad deeds, but let's focus on the good deeds which we can do for the rest of our lifetime.
Right, exactly. And all the nakshatra deities gives us the same message, because we are human beings on this earth and we are already here to fulfill our pending karmas in some or other way. So why not to keep the present deeds at least pious? Whatever we know, whatever is in our conscious mind, at least we have to follow that. That's it. So here we end about the Bharani Nakshatra, and very soon we will come with the Kritika Nakshatra Kṣaṇāti. So by that time, I say Sabka Mangal Ho and Namaste to everyone. Thank you, Kṣaṇāti.
Thank you, Sunilee ji. Om Namah Shivaya, Hara Hara Mahadeva.
Om Namah Shivaya.